Hello, everyone. Today's video is all about the public charge ground of inadmissibility and how we overcome that in immigration cases. So a ground of inadmissibility is a reason to not let somebody immigrate to the US, not to come into the US. In most contexts, such as criminal conduct, if you have certain criminal conduct, you won't be allowed to come in here. You don't have to prove that you don't have criminal conduct. You just simply say, I don't have any criminal history, and they accept your word for it. In contrast with the public charge ground of inadmissibility, they make us affirmatively kind of overcome this ground. What does it mean to be subject to the public charge ground of inadmissibility? The language reads, if you're likely to become a public charge in the US, you are inadmissible. And a public charge is somebody who receives certain cash benefits for the most part from the government. So if they think you're going to immigrate to the US and not be able to support yourself, they won't let you in. To affirmatively overcome this, the US citizen sponsoring the spouse or permanent resident sponsoring the spouse, child, or parent must file Form I-864, which is basically a contract between them and the government saying, if my spouse, child, or parent becomes a public charge, you can go after me for the costs of the benefits they take. If I don't meet the income requirements, we have to ask somebody else to be a joint sponsor or a co-sponsor. And that could be a friend, family member. And so now they're also taking on that obligation. If the immigrant takes certain public charge benefits, they're also liable, which can be scary, but is often required for many cases. Now let's go ahead and look at the rule here. I'm going to share my screen. Move this box out of the way a little bit. Now I've pulled up the rule already. So for everybody who wants to get their own information on the rule, let's go ahead and look at the website. You won't be able to see the whole extension there, but if you type in USCIS public charge resources, you get to this page. And this has critical information about what benefits count against somebody as being a public charge and what don't. And the critical information is down here on the page. Let me move my box out of the way. I'm not sure if it's blocking or not. You'll see that three big areas are certain types of cash assistance, supplemental security income, which is part of the Social Security program, the TANF program, which is basically the name now for welfare, which is cash assistance because you're at a pretty low income level, or other similar state kind of welfare programs. Those are the three primary things that count against you as a public charge. In contrast, a great deal of things are now excluded from the rule. The prior administration tried to broaden it, but now it's pretty narrow, which is nice, so it's not as hard to overcome. You'll see that SNAP, food stamps, is no longer in there, as well as most other kind of programs. Unemployment benefits are also listed as not counting. Housing benefits don't count. So all these types of benefits, if your immigrant takes these benefits, will not hurt you. You will not become liable for them under the current rule. It is important to mention that Medicaid, in general, under the new rule, prior administration tried to include Medicaid, but now it's been kind of out of it again, does not hurt you, with one exception. Long-term institutional care under Medicaid could make both the citizen or permanent resident who sponsored them, as well as any joint sponsor, liable. So that's kind of the one scary one. If someone had kind of a serious injury or mental health situation and they were long-term institutionalized, it could create some liability there. So, you know, both people have to be willing to take that risk. It's a relatively low risk, hopefully, in most situations. Anyway, I'm going to stop the screen share here. Again, the best place to go is USCIS public charge resources to hear directly from the source what is currently counting and not counting. This rule has changed a lot over the years, so it's important to know what the current rule says. Of course, you can contact us if you have questions about this difficult area. Our phone number is 303-872-6985, and you can also always contact us via our website, Chaptel Law Immigration. Okay, thank you very much.